I waved at most of you during the orientation. I have the pleasure of being in charge of the central IT organization here at UNLV. And I'm not going to do too much introduction here because we want to get right to the stuff that you need to know to have a successful first couple of weeks of the semester. And we did this yesterday and we had plenty of time for questions. And so you can interact with us as we're talking about the different topics. So feel free to do that. Just don't hesitate, raise a hand if you have a question, and then there'll be plenty of time for questions at the end as well. And at the very end, then we'll be giving away the backpack, and we're going to quiz you, so we want you to pay attention. And if you get the answers right to the quizzes, there's prizes for that too. So your first test, you can write your test. We'll give you one today. That'll be the only test you'll have all semester. All right, so we're going to start with Deanna, who's going to jump on up here and talk to you about HELP, which we think is an important thing to know. So, Mike, you're going to do this one.
That is slower. They're recording?
I think so. Are you recording? Yep.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do I really need the microphone? But if we're recording, I need the microphone. All right, I'm Deanna. I'm the Client Services Manager. And one of the things that my group does is offer help desk services and training. So, among other things that we're going to talk about today. First of all, the help desk should be your one-stop shop for any of your technology needs, your questions, problems, issues. Even if the help desk can't immediately help you, they will escalate it to those who can. Okay, so you can call them and they'll get you to the person who can help you, or they'll just take all of your information and send it along, one or the other. We are open from 7 a.m. till 11 p.m., 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So we're there for you. Even on holidays, we're open. Because we know you guys could be working on stuff at any point in time. So we're really happy to be able to provide those kind of open hours. We do employ a lot of students. So sometimes you will call and it'll be a student and they'll just have, sometimes they do take your information and just send it along to someone else. But our students are fantastic and usually they can solve whatever you need right then and there. So we can help you with any of your general questions. I'm going to talk about accounts today and software. Sometimes you just can't get Word to do what you need it to do. Sometimes you can't get logged into something. Whatever it is, just call the help desk and they'll help you, or again, get you to those who can. We offer training also, and we offer face-to-face training, and we offer lynda.com. So whatever it is you're trying to do on campus, you can call us and get assistance. You can attend one of our training sessions. You can get access to lynda.com. We really want to make sure that you get the answers, the information, the training that you need. So call us, and we will see what we have for you as far as training. We'll try to solve your problem. There are some things that I'll talk a little bit about this more in software too. There are some things that we don't have experts in, and SPSS is one of those that I like to mention. We have a lot of SPSS users on campus, but we don't offer training in SPSS. So there are some limitations to that because of resources. Call and ask, and I'll show you where to go to look at the training schedule too. Where? Okay, can't find this here. All right, one of the things about UNLV is you have a lot of accounts. The good news is we are working on consolidating all of these accounts. Well, that's good news and bad news. The good news is you will have less usernames and passwords. The bad news is, for now, there are a few to remember, and we're going to go through some changes over the next year. So you may use one method of logging into something now, and in the spring you're going to use a different method because we are working through that consolidation. We just don't want so many usernames and passwords on campus. So we're really making a huge gains on consolidating all of those. So there are a lot of accounts, and again, even if you're just confused or can't remember which one you're supposed to use for what, call the help desk. They'll help you. Believe me, you won't be the only one who asked that day. One of the main accounts that you need to make sure that you have is your ACE account. Who has their ACE account already? Great. If you don't have your ACE account, or especially if you haven't even heard that you need this, check your handouts, check with your department, or call the help desk, and they can help you get that ACE account. The ACE account is used for multiple systems, logging into multiple systems, and that is the account that we are moving to as the single account, okay? So make sure you get that ACE account. We also have Campus Wireless. Have you guys logged into wireless yet? Yes? Great. We have a guest wireless, but we also have UNLV Secure Wireless. You should be using UNLV Secure. And you can go to the website, activate your wireless account. It's oit.unlv.edu. Is it up there? No. And it's /wireless. Okay, so activate that wireless account so that you log into UNLV Secure. UNLV Guest is available, but it's a little bit limited. So you want to make sure that you're in Secure because it's more secure and it's faster also. We have accounts for faculty web pages. Yvette is going to talk about our course management system, which is called Web Campus. She's going to talk about that in a few minutes. But we also offer accounts so that you can just set up a web page. If you just want to set up a simple web page in addition to Web Campus or instead of, we have that. So if you go to that URL, the /accounts, it lists all these accounts. And it changes. Because we offer services, we take them away, and we are consolidating many of these accounts so that one login gets you in there. So those are probably the main ones, the ACE account, the wireless, if you need a faculty web page, and Yvette's going to talk about the Web Campus here in a minute. The other account that's very, very important is email. The campus is in the middle of a huge email transition right now, and they're moving from Lotus Notes to what we've called UNLV Mail. It is Gmail. It's Google Apps. All of you, since you're new, you don't have to use Lotus Notes first and then migrate to UNLV Mail. You can start right away using UNLV Mail. Your colleagues will be extremely jealous because they want to be using this now also. But they won't actually transition until October. We need time to get all of their data out of the old email system into the new email system, and it does take some time. So you guys just want to, right away start using UNLV Mail so that you don't have to do the transition. Your department may have already provided you with a Lotus Notes account. Again, call the help desk, and we can help you kind of reconcile that. Where should you be at this point in time? Because it's a very new thing that new employees are going to go straight into this. There's been a little bit of confusion, evidently. So it is Gmail. Have any of you logged into your UNLV Mail? Yeah. Great. So some of you did get straight into the new one. Okay. Again, if they got you into Lotus Notes, that's fine. We'll just help you transition to this and start using it right away.
That was my question, because I was on Lotus Notes for about a month, and I'm on Gmail now. And can the stuff I do have some folders in Lotus Notes. Will that be part of this whole transition and be done automatically, or should I just pull it all out?
It depends on where you're at in the timing, because we're in this state of transition, and some new faculty got their accounts way back in May, so they weren't provisioned. Sounds like you were provisioned. The best thing to do, call the help desk and ask, and we will help you get it over there. We'll give you instructions or help you do it. That's the easiest thing to do, because everybody's kind of in a different spot in the migration. Because, they may not have you in the group to be migrated. They may just assume that you started on UNLV Mail.
You may be never, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's not much there.
Yeah. But we can definitely get it over there for you. Yeah, I just don't want to assume that you'll be part of the migration. Okay. Other questions about UNLV Mail? Students are on Google Apps also. Theirs is called Rebel Mail. So students, we refer to their email system as Rebel Mail. Employees, it's UNLV Mail. They're both Google Apps. You can share and collaborate with them across those domains. So even though you're in UNLV Mail and they're on Rebel Mail, you can still share and collaborate and give them access to your files or whatever. The only difference is they won't be in the address book. So you'll have to get their email addresses and type them in and create your own contacts, because the address books are separate in the separate domains. But they are on Google Apps also. And we're offering tons of training this fall on UNLV Mail. So watch for that in case you want the training on Google Apps. It does a lot. Questions on accounts, email? We'll have time for more questions at the end, but I want to let Yvette, Mark's going first. Mark and Yvette are going to talk about Web Campus, our course management system.
Hey everybody. My name is Mark Castlehead. I'm e-learning technology coordinator here, and like you, I'm pretty new. I just started in March. So Web Campus is the branded version of Blackboard of UNLV. We are on Blackboard Service Pack 13, if you are familiar with Blackboard. So, and we typically upgrade every year. We're going to be upgrading over the holiday season to a newer version as well. If you come from a different institution and are familiar with Blackboard, you know, we may have a little different configuration, different building blocks, and so on. If you see a feature you're used to and are interested in, please let us know, because we always want to try to accommodate as best we can for new features and requests and things that you might be missing or are used to at other institutions. Can't make any promises in some cases, but certainly are interested in improving and trying to meet your needs as best we can. So having said that real brief introduction, turn you over to Yvette Key, who's our Web Campus administrator, who handles day-to-day operations and support. So she's going to take you through some of the application issues.
Okay, so you should have a little handout. We have a quick guide for instructors for Web Campus. Included in that handout is what your username and password is if you haven't logged into Web Campus yet. It's typically used for online courses, but some face-to-face courses will use it to upload course materials such as your syllabus. We also have assessments available as one of the tools. Assignments, a building block called Turnitin, which is a plagiarism check assignment that you can create, as well as a discussion board. Your username currently for this semester, anyway, is your NSHE account, which is your 10-digit number that you use for my UNLV as well. There was mention of the ACE account. We're transitioning. We're part of that transition, and hopefully in the spring we'll consolidate your Web Campus account into an ACE account. So your username may change. Just keep an eye out for announcements about that change. Some procedures that I want to mention that you should be aware of is we have maintenance reserved every Saturday from 12:01 a.m. to 6 a.m. So the system may become unavailable during that time, where we make either upgrades, changes, or patch fixes as necessary. Also, student enrollments, we're tied to the My UNLV system. So we have an integration between Web Campus and My UNLV. When your students enroll in courses, within an hour or two, they'll get added to your Web Campus course automatically. Same as yourself. When you're assigned to your course in My UNLV, you'll get access within a couple hours. Students don't gain access to your sections until a week before it's scheduled to start. We have some courses that start maybe in October, so although they'll get added as soon as they register, they won't be able to access your course until 7 days before it's scheduled to start. So just be aware of that procedure. In addition to calling the help desk, during our hours, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., we have Web Campus interns. So there's someone always on staff that knows the technology, so they can help you navigate through Web Campus. If your students have any questions about Web Campus, refer them to the help desk as well. We're here to help with any technical issues that they may be encountering. But in addition to the help, we have open labs every Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's also on your handout. We also have additional open lab sessions to help you at the beginning of the semester. So this week and next week, we have 2 additional open lab sessions. So I'll show you where that information is. The two URLs on the slide here is, so webcampus.unlv.edu is where you would go to log in. And then wchelp.unlv.edu, we have tip sheets available for you to look through. So if you need help and are comfortable following instructions, we have some screenshots on how to do things in Web Campus. Lynda.com is also another resource that you can use. They have some tutorials on Blackboard. So let me show you Web Campus real quick. I'm not going to go into detail on the tools, but if you want to stop by the Open Lab, we can help you get started. Oh, but I don't have a keyboard, so. So this is the login page. It's going to change actually on Saturday. You'll still see the username and password field, but just be aware of that. It won't look the same. I can log in from here.
It's gonna be nice. We're going to a more modular approach, so it's a little cleaner look. You see all the announcements, so don't be too afraid. It'll still say log in here.
How many of you do not have your NSHE ID? So we can help you still get into Web Campus. Okay, good. Make sure that you, that NSHE ID is really critical to get, but we know that sometimes it takes a little longer for some, so we have ways to help you get in the system even if you don't.
So this is your My Web Campus page is what we refer to this as. So you have your My Courses module where you'll see all of your courses listed here. And also the Web Campus support module is here. So if you lose that handout that you have, there's a link here. There's also a link for your students, a quick guide for them that we prepared as well. And if you go to this Web Campus support site, and you can point your students to that link as well, these are all the tip sheets that we created to help you get started or work through Web Campus. And there's a link here on the left about the Web Campus Open Lab. So we have one on Thursday from 10 to noon, so if you're available during that time, stop by. It also has the location, so we're here in the library. Does anyone have questions? If you, we know that there's paperwork that gets processed, might delay from you getting access to Web Campus. We can always manually enroll you in your courses as long as we can verify with your department that you are teaching this section. So don't wait until the very first day of the semester if you're not seeing your courses in Web Campus. We can always help. So you can either email us, call us, or submit a help ticket online. So Daryl's up next.
All class sections do have a section, a course template built. So all classes will be used to a campus model are available to use.
Yeah, if you decide in the middle of the semester you want to start using this there.
I assume if you have two sections of the same class, you can consolidate them somehow. Let's say I don't want to have to post all the materials twice.
Yep. Go for it, guys.
Okay, Daryl's going to talk about classrooms and labs.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daryl Ludy, and I'm responsible for the technology that's in the classrooms on campus, the audiovisual technology. Clocks aren't technology. I'm not responsible for those. But anyway, so I'm responsible for the classrooms and also the computer labs on campus. So hopefully everybody has their Marlock card. Does everybody know what this is? So for those of you that are shaking your head, no, you need to try to get one of these. If you're teaching, are you teaching? Oh, so this is how you get into the classroom. So you're going to want to talk to your you're going to want to talk to your department, your administrative assistant, and make sure that you get one of these so that you can get access to the classrooms. All of our classrooms are Marlock controlled. So there's a little Marlock reader on the classroom. Yes. What's that? Yeah, so the building will be open, but the classroom within the building will be locked. Yeah, and so sometimes faculty that teach before you, sometimes they'll leave it unlocked, or you'll get there right before the faculty member has left, and then you can get access to it. Most of our classrooms don't have keys. If it's a special departmental classroom or something like that, it might be key controlled. But most of the general purpose classrooms on campus, like 160 of them, they all are Marlock keyed. Okay. So if you're teaching in a general purpose classroom, make sure you have a Marlock key to get access to the room. So I'm responsible for the technology in the rooms. Basically, the classrooms all have similar technology than that's what's in this room, just not quite as impressive, and a little bit easier to use as well. And so the classrooms basically have, all the classrooms have a PC in the room that's in a rack. And so you don't have to bring your laptop with you if you don't want to. You can just use the PC that's there, and you can bring a thumb drive with your PowerPoint presentation in and just plug it in. All of our classrooms have connectivity for laptops, and so you can bring your laptop and plug it in. Typically, it's a VGA connection that's in our classrooms. We're starting to get digital connectivity like HDMI, but if you have like a Mac that doesn't have a VGA connector on it, you'll need to bring your dongle so you can adapt to VGA. All of our classrooms have document cameras in them. So I don't know if everybody's familiar with the document camera, but basically people sometimes refer to it as an Elmo. It's basically a little camera where you can put documents onto and then show them to your class. And so you can bring in books or whatever you want, and you can show it right away to our classroom, to your students. We still have VCRs, so we have a combo/VCR DVD player, and so for some reason, if you still use VHS tape, we can accommodate you. We're looking at phasing those out at some point, but it's difficult because a lot of the faculty have some really old materials that are very difficult to replace, as well as the library has a real substantial library of VHS tapes that they have to replace as well. So it's not quite as easy as we'd like it to be. All of our classrooms have, I'm not sure where the clicker is, but all of our, oh, Lori has it. All of our classrooms have these little clickers in them. And so if you're wanting to roam around the classroom, you can just advance the slide to the next slide of the previous slide, and you don't have to bring your own clicker. So we have clickers in our classrooms. And we have a speaker system, so any sort of program audio that you play plays through the speakers that are in the classroom. And every classroom has technology, so it's been about a year.
Yeah, only for about a year. Every classroom has technology. That was a big deal for us.
Yeah.
Big deal.
So we're excited about that. So the other thing is I'm responsible for the computer labs on campus. So when I refer to computer labs, I'm referring to like the kind of the open general purpose labs that your students might want to use for, if you give them some sort of a technology assignment where they don't have the software at home, you could direct them to a lab where it might have the software as long as you let us know that we need to install it. So that's available to them. We have about 10 general purpose labs kind of all around campus that students can use, open different hours of the day. We also have teaching facilities around campus. Most colleges have at least one teaching facility, so if you do teach technology and you need students to actually have a computer so that they can follow along, you can use a facility like that for your classes as well. If you haven't already scheduled one, it's probably too late to schedule one now. But if you do need one, like for the spring semester, you could contact your administrative assistant and they can help you to get one of those. The other thing is we have computer facility supervisors. So there's 5 kind of computer lab guys who report to me, and basically they're assigned to a college or multiple colleges. And so for each college, we have a facility supervisor that calls that college home. So you can contact this person about stuff that you need installed into a computer lab, or they can provide, if you just have a technology question that you're unsure of, that you have a face in the college that you can talk to. And so I encourage you to take advantage of that. Okay, that's about it. Yep. Oh, we have support and training for our classrooms as well. So the phone number, 895-0771, we have phones in all of our classrooms. Should be there. They should work. If not, I'm sure you have a cell phone. You can contact that number. They're basically open for the most part whenever classes are in session, except for Saturday, because we don't really have very many Saturday sessions. So you contact these folks. It's a little different than calling the help desk, because when you call the help desk, you might be in a queue for a little while, depending on the call volume. With our classroom support, we don't get quite as many calls, and so you don't have to wait quite as long. And if you have a problem in the classroom, we will literally run over right away to deal with the issue. So you don't have to wait. So, and they provide training as well. So if you give them a call, say, I'm in this classroom and I need some training to use this advanced control system, they'll come down to the classroom, schedule time with you so they can help you with the technology.
We'd encourage you to check out your classroom before Monday, if you're teaching on Monday. Get in there, make sure your Marlock works, play with the technology, plug in your laptop, and if anything goes awry, get a hold of these guys and just call that number and somebody will come help you. And if you're worried at all about it, you can schedule in advance. They can meet you there, tell them what the classroom is, and as long as it's not being used, they can meet you in the classroom and show you how to use that particular classroom. And if you teach in 3 or maybe 4 different classrooms, the technology is as close as we can keep it without doing major overhauls. We have to sort of do a fourth of the classrooms at a time. So we will have different ages of the technology. So we may end up with just a little bit of difference in the different classrooms you're teaching in if you're having to teach in a variety of rooms around campus. Be prepared for that as well. Everything will be there, just maybe access it a little bit in different classrooms.
Where do we find out what classrooms we're in?
You should be able to have that in My UNLV. So if you have access to My UNLV, it should show you the class.
I haven't been able to get into my email.
So even if you don't have even if you don't have a login to My UNLV, you should be able to find your section, which should have the classroom, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
I think you can as a guest and find the actual section.
Or just call your department and your administrative assistant and said, where am I supposed to teach?
They didn't know.
There's sometimes they just, yeah, the class has been added, they just haven't gotten it. So, somebody will know.
Because there had to be a person in there that's scheduled.
Okay.
Okay,
Question?
software.
Question?
To the previous slide.
Sure.
I get a question about this. I hear Lambo, it appeared twice. It's 0771. And on this handout, it says 0777.
Yeah, the difference is, this is the one for classrooms.
Okay.
So if you're in the classroom and having trouble, or you want help with the classroom before you go to the classroom, that's the number. The other one is the general purpose, every other IT issue, 0777. Every, yeah, we fixed that, yeah.
Yeah, we fixed it.
We already fixed it, but we just haven't reloaded the, yeah, we noticed it was wrong the first one. So it's 0777 for all other help desk requests. Good catch, very good catch.
Right, and another important distinction about those two groups, we have that dedicated support group for the classroom, and we realize that you are often standing there ready to teach class and you need immediate assistance, and that group does respond immediately. The 0777, you can call the 50777 anytime, any question. That's the one that's from 7 to 11. And their intent is to help you the first time you call. They may have to send it to someone else. It's not as much of a guarantee that somebody's going to run to your office immediately and help you. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. So we can. Yes, yes. Right, they're not going to respond immediately to come to your office, only the classroom. So basically, yeah, that I'm in class trying to teach gets priority over everything, so they respond immediately. But yeah, if you just can't get your printer to work or something, it may take a little while to get someone there. So, because we do support 30,000 people. So the other thing that Daryl reminded me of is the queue times. We have 2 locations on campus, the help desk, and one of the locations is in CBC-B on the first floor. The other location is in the Student Union on the second floor. So you can come by anytime. A lot of times it's easier to do things face-to-face in person. We can help you get logged in. You can call, you can email us. our queue times do get a little backed up sometimes, especially the first couple of weeks of class. So sometimes you may have to wait for a few minutes if you call. Even if you come by, there may be a couple people ahead of you. So just keep that in mind. The rest of the year, we have pretty good turnaround times. I mean, our hold times are under a minute, but during the start of the semester, it gets a little crazy in there. So be patient. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is software. And your department probably provided you with a computer, and OIT builds that computer and sends it out to you, and it comes with a standard set of software titles. Office, for example. Everybody, we have a site license for Office, Microsoft Office, and you can have that on your computer. There are a lot of other software titles that are available in a variety of ways. And the best thing that you can do if you need some piece of software is to check out that web page and look to see if we offer it. Now, when we say we offer a piece of software, again, there's different levels of that. Some of them we have site licenses for, so we can just come out and install it. Some of them we may have a contract with, but there's still a cost to your department. SPSS is one of those. It's significantly cheaper for your department to pay that fee for SPSS instead of going out and just buying it. So check that site. A lot of things are significantly discounted, even if it's just an educational discount. Some things allow you to install it on your UNLV computer, plus install it on your home computer, so that you can work at home also. Every piece of software kind of has a different procedure, a different pricing structure, a different support structure. You just have to be familiar with, that piece of software that you need, and we will help you through that. Whether it's obtaining it, installing it, we do offer training on a lot of the software. This fall we're going to be focused on Google Apps, but we do offer training on a lot of the software titles as well. Call us, stop by, check this site. There's no standard answer for software. Every title is different, and it gets a little confusing. Sometimes somebody on my staff will just give you instructions on how your department can obtain that piece of software, and we'll still come out and install it for you. But it's just, going through the process at times. So start with a website, call us. I do have a software specialist that knows the ins and outs of all of these titles. So you'll usually be referred to her because she's the one that knows it all, and everybody else is like, I can't remember all the different things. So check the website and call us, or stop by, okay? And it is extremely important. Lori's going to talk next about security and policies on campus, and legal software is one of the big things that we're really trying to enforce, is that every installation is legal.
Yes, because if we get audited and you don't have a legal version on your desktop, we get big, huge fines. And we, meaning usually OIT. So please help us with that. The university can be in a lot of trouble if we don't keep the software licenses current and at pace with whatever our contract says. Yes, question in the back.
Yes, I have a question. Is the software is only on your list? Like if I need to install software that is not on the list?
Yeah, if you need to install software that's not on the list, I'm not sure we would necessarily be able to help you with unless you're having some sort of difficulty with the network or something. But we don't stop anybody from installing any kind of software unless it becomes interruptive to somebody else. If you put something on your desktop that starts spewing out on the network and you're taking up more than your share of the network space, we'll come see you and try to figure out what happened. And it may have been just something with the install. We'll help you figure that out. But if it is something that's going to continue to spew on the network, then we would ask that we work some other thing out. So you can't take more than your share of the bandwidth. But you can put anything on your device that works for you. We understand that all of you have different research activities and different teaching activities and need different kinds of software for what you do, so we don't restrict it. And that's a really good lead-in to security. So we have a few security things that we want to have you keep in mind. Basically, we try to keep our network as open as possible. It's less open than it used to be because the people who want to get into our systems are getting more and more sophisticated. And so we have to lock more things down than we'd like. But we do have it much more open than, say, a bank or a business, because you need to do things that banks and businesses don't need to do, like, go to porn sites to study porn. Now, if you go to a child porn site, if we find out, we'll be visiting, well, we won't be visiting you, but somebody from law enforcement will be visiting you. But we do have people who study things that people find offensive, hate speech, other different kinds of things, and so we do allow all of that, and so it's all open. We don't block anything, and so that's our network. It's hard to tie our network down, and anymore it's very hard to tie networks down. So security is a partnership between us and you, where we need you to have strong passwords that you do not give away. Do not share your password. That is a violation of policy. We want you to have strong ones. And if I said 10-4 for a strong password, would you know what that meant? 10-4. Have any idea what that means? It means 10 characters. So your password is at least 10 things long. 4 means you have 4 form changes. Uppercase, lowercase, number, special character. That would be 4 form changes. So we like your passwords to be 10-4. Some of our systems won't tolerate 10-4. And so we, as a minimum standard, have 8-3. 8 characters, 3 changes. Uppercase, lowercase, number, uppercase, special character, number. Some systems won't take special characters. And so, but when you're creating a password, make it as strong as you can make it. And 10 characters, 4 changes, is really, actually turns out to be pretty strong. We try very hard to not make you change your password very often. We would like it so you never we would like you to have phrase passwords that you never had to change, because that would be the most secure from our perspective. But from auditors' perspective, they don't think that. So they would like you to change your password every 90 days. And we believe that that's insecure because now you have to write it all down somewhere, which then somebody can find, the keys to the kingdom by finding the piece of paper or the sticky note next to your, under your keyboard. We know where you put them. And so do the crooks, actually. So what we do instead is we compromise with auditors every audit. We compromise with the auditors and say, yes, we understand that you need them changed, so we will change them annually, and we will ask folks to have very strong passwords. And we usually get by with that. Not every system requires that yet. They all will eventually. So my UNLV is one of them that does, the student information system. So after you get that password a year from now, if you haven't forgotten it and had to rechange it already, you'll be asked to change it. So that'll come up automatically. And we may be adding more systems to that, so we may ask you to do a password change. Or if we have some kind of compromise, we may ask you to do a password change. So, but be very protective of those passwords, be very careful with those passwords. So we have, so the password policy is one we want you to know about. Another one we want you to know about, and I'll show you where all these are in a minute. Another one we want you to know about is acceptable use. It's a very easy policy. It's 5 statements long, and it basically says you can't do anything. Well, first you have to help us protect the integrity of the system. Don't do things that compromise the integrity of the system, like giving away your password. Don't try to log into other people's stuff. Don't ask them for their password. Don't try to hack, basically. Protect the privacy where you can of the network, of these resources. Do not use them for commercial purposes. Okay to go do incidental use, that's part of the policy. You need to go get an airline ticket for personal travel. It's the middle of the day, you gotta get it. You're a Southwest dinger, you're gonna get your Southwest ticket right away to get the good price. We don't care, perfectly fine. You are running an eBay store on our network, not fine, not fine. We get all kinds of educational discounts on all the equipment and software that we use to run IT here, and all of those say no commercial use. All the licenses say no commercial use. And so we cannot have any commercial use, with the exception of, if you're in the music department and we're selling CDs that our music department has created, that kind of stuff is okay. So our acceptable use policy is really quite straightforward, very short. And so if you know that one, and you know the password policy, and then there's one where we want you to lock your desktop down. And so we have a login to your desktop, that's the way we lock it down. We also have a 15-minute timeout. So if you leave your desktop for 15 minutes. A screensaver will come up, and you'll need to log back in after 15 minutes. We get some complaints about that. Some people think that should be, forever. Don't make me do that. Some people think that should be 5 minutes. We compromise. Some people think you should actually have to press a button to lock it the minute you leave. So we compromised at 15 minutes. We have some exceptions, but we don't. Every policy has room for exceptions. So if you're working in a lab and you cannot have your computer automatically patched, you cannot have a login, you can't have it disrupted for any purpose because it's collecting data, we totally understand that. We just ask that you put in an exception. So, and we will read that, and those are generally approved as long as you can show that you're doing other things with your computer to make it secure. So just remember, every policy has an exceptions procedure, and you can just ask for an exception. We'll look at it. We want to make sure your department chair is aware of that, so we'd ask for your department chair to help you by approving that before you submit it, and then we work with you to set up the securities we need in place to protect the rest of the campus and the network.
Question about Chrome extensions.
Chrome extensions,
Like add in
Yeah.
And they ask for certain permissions, and some of them are view all your activity
Yeah.
on the web. And one of my concerns is when we move to Gmail, essentially now they can theoretically view your activity there. That includes with students, so I don't know if there are further concerns about that. Are there any thoughts about that? Or is it one of those things where they say they can view everything, but they really can't? I don't understand.
Yeah, the Chrome, the Google apps, let's start with the Google apps that we have under our agreement with Google. We have agreements with them. There's some privacy protections there in those agreements. That doesn't mean they don't have bots doing stuff. They do some stuff, right? Because if I have the word attached in my email and I don't have an attachment, it tells me. So it's doing some stuff. It's searching in there to help me do my email better, and it's probably doing other stuff too. We are new to Google for faculty and staff. We haven't added have we added anything, Deanna, for students beyond the original apps that are in the package? I don't think we have.
It has to be a core app, so
Yeah.
that, because you're under a completely different user agreement
Yep.
with Google for education, they can collect your data. They say they're going to stop collecting the data, but there's no ads. They're not doing anything with
Right.
it under this user agreement. So you'll notice that under our domain, there may be some Google apps that we haven't released, simply because it's not part of the core apps. Because if we turned it on and used it, we'd be under the consumer
A different agreement.
agreement.
Yeah.
And we're keeping everybody under the Google Apps for Education agreement so that they can't use your data.
Right. At the point that we as a campus decide, because you guys requested and it makes sense, we add one of those extensions because we think it would be useful for everybody for some sort of collaborative extension. We will then also inform users that if you use it, you're not under those same protections. And so you're under the consumer protections. They're different agreements. And so we have a faculty senate question about that the other day, and we're going to get more detail out about that, and it'll get up on our frequently asked questions page on the Google page. We'll get the privacy statements and the things that we are under agreement. We are right now working on an agreement with Google related to HIPAA protections. They know they can't work in this space and have us use this email system on campuses like ours if they don't do something about the HIPAA protection. And so they do have what's called a business associates agreement, and we're working that through with Google right now.
I was concerned because, I have some extensions, like, for example, one of the add-ons that makes it so you don't have any ads on it.
Right.
And that has the right to see everything
Sure.
on the web.
Right.
And, again, I don't actually know what that means. I tried to look into it, and Google's like, well, we just don't have very fine-grained permissions.
Right.
And it's like,
Well, we don't know exactly know what that means. So we don't have any ads. We don't have, there's no ads on any of the pages. They do know enough about what you do, so I'm writing to Mark and Yvette and Jody, and next time I write to Mark and Yvette, I forget Jody. It tells me I forgot Jody, right? So it does something. Scary, helpful, but scary. So I find that helpful, but scary.
let's just pray they're not doing it.
Yeah. So I think we're watching that carefully as we move, and the system. Actually, I'm in a meeting next week about this as we move, because other institutions in the system are also using Google, including the system office themselves. And so there's some talk with legal next week about some of this as well. So we're watching that carefully. So with the apps we have, there are more protections. I wouldn't say there's 100% protection, but there's more protections than with the add-ons. So be careful with the add-ons. Okay, so acceptable use and passwords, very important. The desktop lockout, that if we've configured your machine, we've added you to our system, and so it'll automatically patch and keep your patches up to date and take care of your operating system patches and your antivirus updates. That doesn't mean you can't get a virus. If you go to the wrong website, we can't stop you from going to a website that would have a virus on it and having it come down on your computer. It will, and it does. And then you call us because everything's operating slow, and then we come out and fix it for you. And then sometimes you do it again. And then sometimes you do it again. And then sometimes we have to really have a conversation because we were out there 3 times in a week. It's like, what are you doing to keep putting this virus on your machine? Depending on whether or not, depending on how sensitive the data on your machine is, we will be out there quicker than later. But everybody has sensitive data. Think about FERPA. You all will have sensitive data on your machine. So please treat your machine as if it has sensitive data. The most common finding when we do have we have to go out and check to see if you have sensitive data is you've downloaded your credit card statement, your tax return, you're trying to check on a payment or something, and there it is with your credit card account or your social security number because your tax statement is sitting on your machine. And we send you a little letter saying, did you know that if your social security number and your tax statement is sitting on your machine? Probably totally forgot you downloaded it, and there it sits. So may have thrown it away even and didn't dump the trash appropriately. So we'll let you know if we happen to find something like that. So it's not that we're looking for it. It's only if something happens, you call us, and then we have to take a look at your machine. Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm just wondering in general, even outside of the UNLV mail in terms of the FERPA, and how secure everything that I put on my computer is, or if I need to do additional protections.
It's your machine is as secure as you make it. Don't share your password. We will help it stay patched, both operating system and antivirus. And so the normal kinds of things, the very easy kinds of malware, you won't get. But if you do a lot of web browsing for whatever reasons that are and are not edu sites, you go to popular sites. Maybe you study popular culture. I would not have sensitive data on your computer, because you are going to get on a website and that is going to bring down a virus, and there's nothing we can do about it. You didn't know what happened. People put the viruses on the most popular pages. So you're studying popular culture, I would have your sensitive data on a server someplace or something not on your computer if you're spending a lot of time on websites, a lot of commercial websites.
I probably won't, but, I certainly don't want any student's data to be compromised.
Right.
So you mentioned putting down a server.
Yeah, the department, what department are you in?
I'm at the Academic Success Center.
Academic Success Center. Talk with them. They have they are using, we have some file services where you can store files securely. We're moving from Novell to Windows File Services. So they may not have, I don't know that they've moved yet, but you can store them on secure servers and then work from the server. If you spend a lot of time with a lot of student data or HIPAA protected data or in any kind of sensitive data at all, credit card data, then you want to be working off the server, not on the desktop. That's just good policy, good practice. So we'll get to the policy. I'll show you the policy page here in a sec. Let me. Okay, so we're going to go to questions. Before we go there, though, let me show you. We've been talking about a lot of web pages. Let me just grab one here. Type in, I need somebody to get me to OIT. Type it in here. Okay, that's good. Okay, turn around this way. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's get to OAT. All right, so this is the Go there, please. All right, go somewhere. Are we not connected? We must be. We couldn't have the... Why is this not working? Why is this not? Oh, there we go. We're good. Okay, so here's the main OIT page. Let's get to the main page. Okay, the left-hand navigation is your friend. A lot of things specifically for faculty and staff here, things for students here. Almost all the pages we talked about are on here somewhere. They all start with OIT and then / something. The policy page I was just talking about right here. And the acceptable use policy, we try to make this as accessible as possible. So what we've done is we've given you the 5 policy statements, and then to clarify them, we have some examples. And that's it. That's the whole policy. So very easy. Then we have the purpose. So this is other stuff that's in the policy. Here's the exceptions form. And here's a whole bunch of frequently asked questions about the policy. And all of our policy pages look like that. Our policies, we try to keep them 3 sentences or shorter. And this one happens to be our longest one with 5 statements. If you want to see the policy, you can go here. If you have questions about the policy, these are people you contact. You click on those, you get their contact information. And all of the policies that we want you to be aware of are here. Wow, that is weird. Okay, go back. There. So there's acceptable use. Here's the computer management and security policies we were just talking about that say, take care of your desktop. And here's our password policy, and there's a whole bunch of other ones there. The other thing one thing I really like about our site is our software page, which we were just talking about. I'll show you that real quick. Or not real quick. Have I confused you? Okay, let's try down here. Okay, so here's our database right here, and it is a database. It's got a back-end database here, so you can search using different attributes. You can search by faculty or staff or students. You can search by free or not. You can search by any term. Or you can search by operating system. So if you're a Mac user, you can see what we have for Macs versus Windows, or both. Not a lot of Linux, but there's some. So you can do that, or you can just search. And we talked about SPSS. So that's a statistical software. And one thing, you can tell what we will or won't do for you by scrolling down into the support and training session. We can't help you with use, like we talked about. We can help you with installation. We don't have anybody who's an expert, no training, but we can help you buy it. And so every piece of software on the page, you can tell what we have. We also have this section here where you can see if you're teaching statistics and you need to know that it's available for students. This is every facility on campus where students have access to that. Let me talk about the classroom technology real quick. We have all of our technology-enhanced classrooms, and it talks about all of those. You can actually find your room. So anybody know what room they're teaching in? Not you. But anybody else know what room they're teaching in? You got no idea. Anybody know what room they're teaching? Give me a room. BEH 111. Okay, let's take a look. Here's what's in BEH 111. So this is all the equipment is there. Here is, are the photos there? No? I don't know if they're there. Why aren't they there? Yeah, what's going on with those? I don't know what browser I'm using here. So generally you can see the picture of the room, actually. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go visit it, but you can generally see the pictures in the room. But at the very least, you can see what systems are there, how many people it seats, which system we're using, and the user guides for those systems. We have Extron and what's the other one, Daryl? We have Crestron, and so there are different user guides there, a little bit slightly different. We have some training there, so you can go to your room. If you can't get to the room before Monday, you can visit the room online between now and then. And so the website is full of stuff. And what we do regularly is we will send out messages by UNLV official. If we are going to have an outage for some reason, planned outage, we'll tell you about that. If we're going to have if there's an emergency disruption to service, a power outage, or the network goes down, or web campus goes down, or something like that, if the network's up, we'll send that by email to let you know. And we'll keep you posted by email the status of that. So we try to keep you informed if there are any issues. And so UNLV official is your friend. Please do read it. I know a lot of people like to ignore it, but please do read it. Important information about upcoming stuff and also about outages. So I'm going to shut up. We're going to give away a backpack, and we're going to give away some prizes because we're going to ask some questions. So what happened to, let me get back to the presentation. Down here. Back here. There we go. Okay, so I need training on a Microsoft Office product. 3 different things you can do. Call the help desk. Oh, you get a plain catch? Sure. Excellent. Okay, what else can you do? Football. What else? Don't really want a football. I'm not raising my hand. Oh. Go to the queue. Call the help desk. Get in the queue. Yep. You can send an email if you like. Okay, you ready? Oh, excellent. God, you got a good catcher. All right. Online training. What's the name of the online training? Lynda.com. Excellent. Let's see. Okay, this one doesn't throw very well. Who had their hand up? This one doesn't throw very well. Okay. So those are the things you can do. Or you can go to a training class. Next. I'm having problems in the classroom. Yes. You call a dedicated line, and the phone number for the dedicated line is, you can look at your cheat sheet. Excellent. 50771. Okay. All right. This is a toolkit with a flashlight. I don't know. You need a toolkit. We get these from our vendors, and so we just give them away. So that doesn't throw very well. Yeah, fix the classroom. There you go. Yeah, you can fix that computer. Open that baby up and fix it right up. All right. Let's see. Whoops. Next one. Oops, what did I just do? Gather. Okay, so that's the number there. All right, it's 10 minutes before my class, and my printer is jammed. So sad. That is so sad. We're not getting there in 10 minutes, folks. We're not getting there in 10 minutes. So what are you going to do? Call 911. What? Find another printer. Excellent. So yesterday, what was the answer yesterday?
Send the students a PDF.
Yeah, so it's the syllabus, right? You're trying to print your syllabus, and you just send them a PDF and be done with the printer altogether. So, all right. So find another printer is going to be your best. Now, don't forget when you get back from class to put in a help request so that we can get that printer unjammed and fixed and ready for you the next time you need it. All right. So, question, any other questions you have of us that we can help you with while all of the experts are here? And here's the rest of our team. Though we were commenting that we need a new picture because some of those folks aren't here anymore. Mark, you've only been here since March, so that's why you might not know some of them, but some of them haven't. Some of them might have moved on.
I did the online broker training to try to get
Yes.
my UNLV, and it said I still have to do another training to get it.
Really?
Is it just the online broker training?
Yeah, that's the online FERPA training is all that you need. Is Deanna still here? So if you still can't get in, you can help, or you can help her get help.
Yes, we can help her get help.
Yes, we can help. We can't help. My UNLV is not our system, but we work very closely with people who manage all of that. And so call the help desk and we can help you get help. Yeah, we won't, if it's web campus, we can help you. But if it's this, we can figure out what might be going on there and at least try to get you pointed in the right direction, because that is a common issue. You have my UNLV, you've done your training, and you still haven't gotten your stuff. So, yes?
Excuse me, as for webpage,
A faculty webpage?
yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, if you want to do this, do you have to pay?
No.
And like, for instance, if you have webpage, like, they will help you, right? Or some,
Well, we can help you get the account. And then depending on what other kind of help you need, it depends on how sophisticated the help is. But we can at least get you the account.
Like, what did you do, what?
Yeah, well, again, it just depends on how complicated your current web page is if you're trying to move stuff over.
And also, if you're leaving UNLV, what will happen on this webpage?
If you're moving, then you just need to let us know as much time in advance as you can. We'll do whatever we can to help you. It just depends on how complicated the web page is.
So like, can you still save it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And also, if I have, like, I was told that in my computer I have 2 new programs. I've heard about that, but I would like to learn. So
Mhm.
I can learn. It's Finale and Sibelius.
Huh.
Where can I learn about this program?
I'd start with lynda.com. I don't know if that'll be there. Again, what department are you in?
Music.
Music. I would check with Rob Mader. Rob Mader?
Rob, yeah.
Yeah, I would check with him, because he'll know. Check with lynda.com first, always look there, and then, and Rob may be able to help you with some manuals or some online. Usually if there's a piece of software, they have really good stuff online that you can just go online and get some training and some tip sheets and some help. But Rob Mader is he's the fine arts tech guy, and so he knows a lot of stuff. You should be able to help. What else we got? What else can we help you with? Oh, we got to give away a backpack. We got more questions? Hmm? Okay, yep.
So now because you have the website, may I put on the PDFs of my papers on my faculty website?
Sure. PDF of your papers? Yes.
Is there an space limit?
We did have somebody in engineering that was trying to do a bunch of GIS stuff up on his website. We had to say no, but not PDFs not for papers. There's also a service in a library that you might want to look into, where they will probably get more exposure. Actually, it's a digital a service that they have. I forgot what it's called. I should know what it's called. It's not Digital Commons. It might be called Digital Commons. Anyway, it's a service in the library that can help you with that. So, and you will have, you all have librarians in your disciplines, and so figure out who that is. They can be very, very helpful, and they'll know for sure exactly what you can do there. They'll help you with that.
There was a discussion at the faculty orientation at my table. Somebody had mentioned if you link your Gmail to your UNLV mail, like,
Your personal Gmail?
right, that could be part of like the record. And
Yes. If you, let's say that I sent you an email to your personal email account, your personal whatever, it's Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, and then you had that forwarded to UNLV mail or Gmail. Not yet, but as soon as we move over, that is going to get captured for e-discovery purposes. That's going to get captured in Google Vault. That send from, anything that gets received in there. And then any action you do on that email, anything you receive or send in that email is going to be in Google Vault. And so that's something we have with Google. It's still in the Google server, but we manage it. And that's for e-discovery purposes. Litigation holds, different kinds of things. Yeah.
That discussion has come up, so when it seems like it kind of freaks people out a little bit when they were having that conversation, it's really important to clarify that we've been doing this for years. We're required to by our legal department to vault all of this stuff, to archive it. Nobody's looking through it.
Oh, God, no.
Nobody's reading
Oh,
it.
please.
Nobody has time nor interest. We don't have any restrictions. We don't care if you're using UNLV mail to email
No.
your sister,
No.
or we don't
No.
care as long as it's legal use. It's fine if you're using it for personal use, incidental use.
If that's the easiest way for you to manage multiple email accounts, we don't care.
We don't care, and I think that people freak out when they hear that, thinking, oh, they're keeping a copy. Now, the only time anything is ever going to come out of that is if there's some kind of legal situation where there was some communication with the student, and now the legal department needs to go back and pull that because the student is claiming something. So it's more for your protection than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I think it's really, I've had a few of those conversations too, and I think it's really important to clarify, nobody's looking through this stuff.
Oh, gosh, no. And by policy and procedure within OIT, no one can. The only way anyone can get access to your email, if you don't give them your password or you don't give them delegation, please don't give them your password. If you want somebody to see your email, delegate. There's a way in Google to delegate that to them. Department chairs do that all the time for administrative assistants, and that's perfectly fine, but they're doing the delegating. If someone needs to see your email, not you, it has to be approved by a member of the cabinet. In your case, that would be the provost. It has to go up to whoever it is in your chain of command. John Valerie White would have to say it was okay for somebody, anybody, to see your email. He has to tell me, not just anybody, me. Then we have a whole internal procedure for saying, okay, for business continuity purposes, maybe something horrible happened to you, or personnel reasons, but this, you email administrator, can't tell anybody, but we need to do this. So all confidential. It does happen. I mean, people get hurt, people leave, people get really sick and don't realize that they're not going to be back for 3 months, and it's like the email's just piling up. And so it does happen, but it is the case that it is a really long. It's quick, but there's a lot of steps, and there has to be a lot of approvals because we really do the best we can on the privacy. If legal has to go look at something, now we also work at a public institution, and if legal's, if the press is asking for some certain kind of information and you happen to be involved in whatever the situation is, your email will be searched. It is.
That was the concern.
Yeah.
And then the question was, are they gonna look at all of your emails?
No.
Or is this gonna be things related?
No, it's just the things related to whatever the issue is. So if there's a press issue and you happen to be, and you're unlikely to be in that case, it's usually a president or a provost or somebody that's in that case. But even then, after that, legal has to look at it and redact it for anything that's not related to the case. And so even after searching all that, they have to go through all of the things that were found, say that they, and one that's been kind of controversial here is Hillary Clinton coming and her speaker fee. Big deal about that for some reason. Let's say that was one, and we had to search for all those email. Then you have to go through every single one of those before you turn them over to the press to make sure there's nothing else in any of those email. So yeah, really a lot of protections on the privacy side, even though it's when we have to do that. Mm-hmm.
That also applies to students, so if you suspect a student is cheating or if you request to have access to their email, it has to go through the right.
Yeah, it has to go through that process. The other places on campus that can ask for that kind, HR for a personnel reason can ask, student judicial for a student conduct reason can ask, and legal. And those three plus, otherwise it has to be cabinet approved. A member of the cabinet has to approve, because otherwise we won't do it. We just refuse. So we don't figure that's our business to be letting people in and out of other people's accounts. We figure that's somebody else's business. It's not a technology issue at that point. But that said, all of your email sent and received is captured. It's currently captured in Lotus Notes, and it will be captured in Google Vault. All right. What else? What else? What else? You ready? You excited about school starting?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. You ready? Yes. You know who to call for help if your technology is just not being your best friend today? Sometimes it is your best friend, but sometimes, it's not. But you know who to call, right? All right, you're going to check out your classrooms before Monday? All right, and what else are you going to get? Get into your Web Campus class? Web Campus? Going to try to get you into my UNLV so you know who's in your classes? That'd be good too. All right, and you're going to call the help desk at 5077, a timid 50777, but a correct 5077. It's okay, so you all passed the quiz. All right, we'll hang around. If you have any specific questions we can help you with. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. We know how busy you are. The backpack, yeah. Who's going to pick? Who's going to pick the lucky 14? I believe we're looking for lucky 14.
Daryl?
Lucky 16. Who's got 5? Yeah, lucky 16? Raise your hand. All right, you're walking out of here with a backpack full of cool IT stuff. All right, thank you guys so much for coming. Really appreciate having you.